as a consultant, and he helps in cases. But I asked Attorney Goren if he could talk a little bit about the Constitution and the connection with the ADA. Tell us a little bit about that, Attorney Goren.
Yeah, that's really wild. One of the things I enjoy about my practice, and the ADA is so broad, I go across employment, governmental access, places of public accommodation access, and then I get into a variety of other laws, such as Air Carrier Access Act, Fair Housing Act, workers' comp sometimes, and the Constitution is really fascinating when it comes to people with disabilities. When it comes to people with disabilities, there's something called the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. People with disabilities are the only group that change the classification depending upon the facts. No other group does that. So if you have an ethnic minority and you have an equal protection claim, you know that the ethnic minority is going to be in a certain category for purposes of trying to figure out just how they have to go about proving their case, whether a particular law is likely to stand up or not. You don't know that with people with disabilities. Another area that's really interesting in the constitutional law area lately is the whole idea of whether a person can just go around spotting issues and then say, hey, this is wrong, and I don't have any desire to really come back or to use the facility, but this is wrong, and because it's wrong, I'm suffering distress, and I should have the right to sue. That's what we call testers. In the Fair Housing Act, there is testers have standing. There is a real question now whether a tester, and you think of the drive-by, in the trade they call them drive-by lawsuits. There's a real question now in light of recent Supreme Court opinions whether a tester under the Americans with Disabilities Act has standing. But there are a variety of constitutional issues that come up. Another one that comes up is a person with a disability wants to sue a governmental entity, a state, or an arm of the state for damages. There's this question of sovereign immunity. That also ties into that whole equal protection thing. So those are just three constitutional issues that come up in my practice.
Well, I that's very interesting about the standing. I know that these testers, or that I thought the ADA specifically gave them, private actions. Is that right or not? Gave people private actions.
Yes, but that's what's so interesting about the recent Supreme Court case called TransUnion, which had nothing to do with the Americans with Disabilities Act. That case says you need something more. You may need something more than a statutory violation to have standing. So just because there's a statutory violation doesn't mean you have a stake in the lawsuit. And that is wild. So, for example, one of the things you see a lot is people will go around, and I do a lot in this area of internet accessibility. You have people with disabilities that use screen readers, which is what the blind uses, and they will go around the internet looking for websites that they just can't use screen readers for, and they don't have any desire to purchase anything on the site or even use it. They're just saying that site is wrong, and they bring a lawsuit. You also see it in the area of hotels. There's a regulation saying that hotels have to have certain information out on websites. Well, what if they don't? There are people who are looking and say, oh, you don't have that information, now I'm going to sue. So the question is, does a person like that, who doesn't have any intention of using that hotel or can't buy anything on that website or doesn't have any intention of buying anything on that website, if they bring suit, would they have standing in the constitutional sense to be able to move their case forward? And the statutory violation isn't enough anymore.
This is amazing because this is the same issues coming up in consumer law practices. I had a consumer attorney bring this very case up, and this issue about standing. What gives somebody standing, and this is very interesting. We'll have to talk about this another time. We're here with Attorney William Goren. Thanks so much for your. I think that was a fascinating constitutional. Summary, I should say, right? Because we don't have time for in-depth things. But we're going to talk to Attorney Goren a little bit more